everyone, welcome to AMC Movie News. I'm Kira Batay, and I am joined here with senior editor of AMC Movie News, John Campea.
How are you?
And just letting you guys know, he's also the most knowledgeable movie buff around.
So true.
Okay. Now, we are going to brush you guys up on some superhero knowledge. We have Iron Man 3 that's filming right now.
Already, yep.
Okay, so we have Captain America 2, which is in development.
Yep.
And we have Thor 2, which is going to be filming at the end of this year, right?
Yeah, for a 2013 release, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so Marvel president Kevin Feige just announced Thor 2 is going to have a new villain.
Yeah, which is actually interesting because, you know, one of the strengths of Thor up to this point, whether it's the Thor film or the Avengers, has been Tom Hiddleston playing Loki. He has been incredible. It's so vital for any film like this one, like Avengers, in this kind of genre, to have a strong antagonist, a powerful antagonist, a memorable antagonist, and Loki has been that. Tom Hiddleston has been a revelation for a lot of people. He's been fantastic in it. But you've gone to the Loki well twice in a row already. You had him in Thor, you've got him in Avengers, and he is going to be, Tom Hiddleston is signed on to do Thor 2.
Right.
So he is going to be there, but the minds at Marvel, Kevin Feige, they know they have to mix things up a bit, so they have announced there's going to be a brand new villain involved.
Okay, do you think that Loki is going to be in the movie a lot, or do you think he's just going to have a small part this time?
I have a feeling he's going to be there a lot.
Okay.
I think we're going to see a lot of him, but I don't think he'll play the role of the main antagonist like he has before. And that's something Feige's already kind of confirmed. Now, one of the things we know who is not going to be the main villain is Thanos. Now, if you haven't seen Avengers, you don't want to hear this, spoiler alert.
Everyone's seen Avengers. So
everybody's seen Avengers probably 3 times right now. But you know, in the famous after credit scene in the Avengers, we see Thanos. So that has a lot of people wondering if Thanos, you know, most popular for the Infinity Gauntlet series, if he's going to be the main villain. But he's not. I mean, you already get the feeling he's too big of a character to just have in one Marvel character film. You know, I get the feeling they're saving him for Avengers 2. And Feige has already kind of said it's not going to be Thanos. They're saving him for a later date. So we know it's not going to be Loki. He's not going to be the main antagonist. And we know it's not going to be Thanos. At this point, we know those two won't be it.
So then, predictions.
Well,
who's it going to be?
I think there are 3 very strong possibilities here. For who could end up being the main antagonist in Thor 2. And I'm going to run them down in order of that I think is of likelihood. Number 1, we've got Carl Kree, a.k.a. Absorbing Man. Now, Absorbing Man is one of the stupidest names in comic book history. It's terrible. But Marvel takes stupid-sounding things like the Cosmic Cube, and they change the name of it in Captain America and Thor and the Avengers to the Tesseract. They don't call it the Cosmic Cube. So if it is going to be the Absorbing Man, they'll probably change his name to something else, which is totally fine. The interesting thing about Absorbing Man, besides the fact that he's incredibly powerful, as his name describes, he has the ability to absorb the traits and powers of the things he comes in contact with. So he touches a steel wall, he becomes steel. He fights the Hulk, he touches the Hulk, he gets the Hulk strength. Obviously, that makes him a very powerful foe for Thor, and creates some very interesting visual effects possibilities as well that the magicians at Marvel there and their visual effects studios can bring to life in fights between Thor and him. Also, in the comic books, although they do have the liberty of changing things up a bit, Absorbing Man is kind of created by Loki. Now, in the comics, Carl Kree is just a human guy from Earth that Loki kind of sips some, you know, Asgardian-level steroids to that turns him into this incredibly powerful creature. So that opens the door for Loki to play an important role in the film without necessarily being the main antagonist. And I think there's a really strong likelihood. He's a very popular character in the Thor universe. He's been used a lot in the Thor universe. I think that makes him a really strong candidate. The second one would be Ulik, who is a troll that lives under the surface of Asgard, cast out by Odin Allfather. And with Ulik, he's got some interesting things. First of all, he's got these essentially brass knuckles that are made out of the same things that Thor's hammer is made out of, so it makes him quite powerful. He's supposed to be the most powerful troll warrior ever. But the interesting thing about Ulik is the fact that it opens up some very interesting narrative possibilities. So you have some whole social aspects about different class citizens, those who live on the surface, those who live beneath. We've obviously seen that done before. But I think it does open a lot of possibilities, and it gives us a possibility to see more layers to Odin, as possibly not all good and great, but possibly he has some shortcomings, such as the way they've treated the trolls. So it opens some interesting narrative possibilities. The third possible candidate I see is the Enchantress, also known as Amora. Marvel likes to use her a lot in the animated stuff they do. whenever there's Thor involved, it seems that Amora, or the Enchantress, is always there. So she's very popular with the head people at Marvel. Also, love triangles is always an interesting plot device, and she's very much in love with Thor. And so we know Natalie Portman has already signed on to come back. She's going to play Jane Foster again. So that does open the door for some really interesting love triangle stuff. Out of the three, I think this is the least greatest possibility, because with Loki, they've already had a magic user as kind of the main foil for Thor twice already. If they want to change things up, they may want to stay away from that. So she's a very strong candidate. I don't quite see it being her, though.
So who's the number one possibility?
I would stick with Absorbing Man. I just think it keeps Loki involved. He's an incredibly powerful character without being Thanos level powerful. There's a lot of interesting story dynamics you can do there, and he's just pretty cool. So, I mean, all things being said, now there have been some words about the Executioner, Magog has been mentioned, and those are all possibilities. But if I had to put money down on it, I would probably bet it would be Absorbing Man. I have no knowledge of this being fact. This is me speculating, but I would go with Absorbing Man.
Okay, well, there you guys have it. But we want to know, who do you want to see as a villain? And do you agree with our top three? Tell us your thoughts on the comments below, and remember, don't forget, get all your movie news, movie tickets, theater, and showtime information every day, 24/7 at amctheaters.com. Remember, find us on Facebook and Twitter, and don't forget, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm Kira Bate along with John Campea. Thanks again. Until next time.